On the day my wife's first love got married, she snapped. She walked up the aisle with a knife. She stabbed him again and again and again. Then she cut her own throat. I was standing in the crowd. I couldn't move. 5 years I loved that woman. 5 years, and she'd never loved me back. Not for a second. Her heart had always been parked somewhere else. When I woke up at the start of it all over again, she didn't hesitate. She threw me out like a bag of trash and went running after him. I figured that was it. 2 roads, different directions, done. I was wrong. 6 years later, I ran into her at the Grand Plaza Mall. She was floating around as the wife of the general manager, Derek Vance. He was doing a walkthrough. She was on his arm. She spotted me and her lip curled, following me. Now, Ethan, let's get one thing straight. I'm married. You and me are ancient history. Get over it. I didn't bother answering. I turned toward the baby aisle to grab diapers for my daughter. She came after me, ripped the pack out of my hands, slammed it on the floor, ground it under her heel. You got a wife, a kid. You swore up and down you'd never marry anybody but me. You liar. Running into Chloe at Grand Plaza was the last thing I saw coming. She had both hands wrapped around Derek's arm while he made his rounds through the luxury shops, and every associate on the floor was falling over herself. This is Vance. This one just came in limited edition. If you like it, I could do 20% off for you. Just make sure our brand gets the front spot next season, Chloe said, doing her best manager's wife voice. Absolutely. And that diamond necklace you asked about, I put it aside for you. Derek glanced at the case and nodded. Take it. It'll look perfect on you at the engagement party next week. Engagement party? I see you two together all the time. I thought you were already married. Chloe's smile froze on her face. The girl caught herself and scrambled. Oh, I only meant you look so good together. Like an old married couple. Couldn't help it. I laughed. Quiet and short. In our last life, Chloe went completely off the rails when she found out Derek was marrying someone else. She crashed his wedding, put a knife through him a dozen times, and then killed herself so she could follow him out. I never understood it. If she loved him that much, how did they ever break up in the first place? And then we came back, and she dumped me inside of a week to go chase her happy ending. Yet here we were 6 years down the line, and they still weren't married. They were just now getting engaged. Derek's been so focused on his career these last few years, Chloe said, gazing up at him like he hung the moon. He's asked me to marry him more times than I can count, but he's on his way up. I wasn't going to let my happiness slow him down. Wow, she really knew how to play the good woman behind a great man. Back when she was with me, all she ever did was look down her nose and remind me I was broke. Turns out she wasn't short on kindness. She was just short on love for me. I dropped my eyes, cut her out of my field of vision entirely, and headed for the baby store. Ethan, what are you doing here? Her voice came my back like a nail on glass. I stopped, turned. She was standing there glaring at me. The sales girl looked between us. Is this gentleman a friend of yours, Chloe? If he's shopping, we can extend the discount to him, too. Chloe smirked. A friend? Please. He's a broke ex of mine. He couldn't afford a $100 necklace back then. There's nothing in this mall he can pay for an ex. The girl shot a nervous look at Derek. Derek didn't seem to mind at all. He pulled Chloe in against his hip and looked at me like a king surveying a ditch. Did you check a price tag on your way in? Save yourself the embarrassment when you find out you can't afford keychain. What I can and can't afford is none of your business, I said. Chloe's face went tight. If you're that hard up, maybe I'll throw a little charity your way. Or wait, did you hear about my engagement and come here on purpose? Derek stepped up next to her and gave me a slow once-over. Ethan, Chloe told me how you used to hound her. I figured she was being nice about it. Turns out you really are a creep. You had her, and you didn't take care of her. Now she's marrying me, and it's eating you alive. His face was going red. He looked like a guy hunting for a reason to swing. The only thing holding him back was Chloe's hand on his. Ethan, I told you when we split, there's no version of this where we happen. Why can't you let me go? I know you're broke. I know it stings watching me do well, but this is just sad, Derek scoffed. Grown man with no skills, trying to mooch off his ex-pathetic. Look at what you got on. Not one label on you. I glanced down at my suit, bespoke Italian, cut by hand, the only one of its kind on earth. A mall manager clearly didn't have the eye for it. He took mine, silent for defeat, pulled out his wallet, peeled off a few bills, and slapped them against my chest. They fluttered to the floor. That'll cover your groceries for the month. Now get lost. Hundreds scattered across the tile. Chloe smirked. What? Not enough? She glanced in her empty designer clutch. Nobody carries cash anymore. How about I send it to you instead in brand? Sound good? That's probably more than you can scrape together in 2 years of manual labor. I said nothing. She pulled out her phone, opened Snapchat, and hit send. Ethan. She shoved the phone in my face, loud enough to turn half the floor. You blocked me. I found the outrage genuinely funny. Isn't blocking your ex just standard housekeeping after a breakup? Besides, I had a family. Now Audrey's been through things that left her a little fragile, and keeping an ex on my phone would have been asking for trouble I didn't need. Why wouldn't I block you? We broke up years ago. There's nothing left to say. The smug slid right off her face. Nothing to say, she said through her teeth. I nodded. It's been 6 years, Chloe. Keep your money. I don't want a dime of it. That made her look worse somehow. Then who do you think you're fooling? Play the big shot all you want. I know exactly how broke you are. Do you even know who my fiancé is? He runs this entire mall, and this mall belongs to Summit Enterprises. Don't embarrass yourself. Derek grinned and puffed out his chest. Chloe, why are you even talking to him? Guy like this is probably never heard of Summit. He's gonna die at the bottom of the food chain. I looked at him standing there, so pleased with himself. He seemed to have forgotten how he got that GM chair in the first place. Derek used to be a nobody in a cubicle at Summit. No talent, endless mouth. He liked to tell people he was the company's rising star, and the whole place would fold without him. Chloe's parents were college professors, sharp, decent people, and they saw through him in about 10 minutes. I couldn't stand him, but that cheap charm of his worked like a spell on a girl who didn't know better. And she wouldn't leave him. It took her parents threatening to end their own lives to get her to walk away. She was a shell for months after. I was the one who sat up with her night after night, gluing the pieces back together. We ended up together. That's how it goes. Then while we were dating, my business proposal started disappearing off my laptop, and Derek's career at Summit took off like somebody lit a fuse under it. I brought it up to her more than once. She called it a coincidence every time. Once she said yes to marrying me, I let it drop. I thought marriage would settle her. She heard Derek was marrying someone else, and there was nothing left of her to settle. She killed him and died for him. That's not love. That's something with teeth. So when we came back, the first thing she did was cut me loose. She took my proposals, the ones I hadn't even written yet, out of her memory and handed them to Derek to climb on. The second she asked for the breakup, I said yes. No pause, because I couldn't have stopped her. And honestly, I didn't want to. I just never planned on this. The two of us in a mall over diapers. Look, how I live is not your business. Now move. I've got shopping to do. Derek stepped in front of me. What's the matter? Chloe called out. So now you run. Then following her around, hoping she'd feel bad and toss you a bone. The associates nearby had already decided who the villain was, and they weren't quiet about it. Derek was enjoying his audience. Tell you what, you're Chloe's ex, so promise you'll never bother us again, and I'll pull a few strings. Get you a job here in the mall. Somebody behind him said Mr. Vance was too generous for this world, and the rest of them agreed. My phone buzzed, a message from my wife. Babe, didn't I ask you to grab diapers from our mall? What's taking so long? Before I could type a word, Chloe snatched the phone out of my hand and threw it at the marble rack. Ethan, are you listening to us at all? Derek is offering you a job. You should be on your knees. People would kill for this. I looked at the pieces on the floor. I don't need a job, and I don't need his charity. But you're paying for that phone, she laughed, crying over a cheap phone. What could it possibly cost? Are you out of work and too proud to take help? Relax. I'll only put you on dishes or mopping. Anyway, you don't have to feel bad about it. She was so sure I was asking for money because I was broke. What she didn't know was that I owned this mall. When Audrey took over as CEO of Summit, the board came for her throat. So I took them all, the dead weight, the money pit, and turned around. And that's what kept her seat under her. He's left the whole operation to me ever since. I'm asking because you broke it. That's called paying for what you break. It's got nothing to do with my bank account. I didn't have the energy to explain further. Even if I told her I owned the building we were standing in, she'd have called it a lie in her head. I would always be worth less than Derek. Like a rich man would cry over a phone, she sneered. Is that right? I stepped in, reached into her pocket, took her phone, and dropped it on the marble ash. The whole floor sucked in a breath at once. You're so rich, so a phone's nothing to you, right? Her face went red, then something close to green. Ethan, are you doing this on purpose? Is my phone the same as that piece of garbage of yours? I just got it. It's the newest iPhone, $1,500, teen hundreds. Pocket change to you. You wouldn't hold a grudge over pocket change, would you, Chloe? She looked around at the girls watching, her jaw locked. She forced out a smile. Of course not. I'm not like you counting pennies. Perfect. You don't mind? I do. I'm the broke one, remember? You still owe me for mine. The smile fell off her face then. I have never met anyone this shameless in my life. You smashed my phone, and you still want me to pay you? Dream on. You said you didn't care about the money. I never said that. You. Her chest was going like a bellows, and nothing was coming out of her mouth. Fine, it's a phone. I'll pay you, but mine's broken, so I'll send it once I get a new one. I nodded. Great. Same number as always, don't forget. I crouched, picked up what was left of my phone, and turned to go. Behind me, she started laughing. I knew it. You broke my phone, so you'd have an excuse to get my Snapchat back. If you wanted my number, you could have just asked. Why play games? And you kept the same number all these years? Were you waiting for me to come back? Derek's face went black. He stepped up and shouted, Ethan, I'm telling you right now, you and Chloe are done. Don't even dream about it. You come after our life, and I'll make you sorry. Do I need anything from you? I'll say it one more time. Chloe and I broke up. There is nothing between us, and there never will be again. Everything coming out of her mouth is happening inside her own head. Today was an accident. Don't worry. The second the money hits, I'm blocking her again. Your marriage is safe for me. I stopped and looked him dead in the eye. Are you warning me because you're scared she'll fall for me again, or because somewhere in there, you know you're the lesser man? Bullshit. Derek's face twisted. Lesser man? Then why'd she pick me and not you? He looked one word away from swinging. Chloe grabbed his arm fast. Baby, don't let him get to you. He's provoking you. He isn't worth your little finger. I picked you. I'll always pick you. Nobody could ever take your place. Eric's chest inflated again, and his face smoothed right out. I didn't even roll my eyes. I walked past them into the baby store. She followed me in. I was reading labels on formula when she got to me. She tore the pack out of my hand, threw it down, stomped on it. Ethan, you turn down a real job, and then you buy diapers. Where are you now? Somebody's Manny. Look what you've turned into. I'm warning you. Talk to Derek like that again, and you'll regret it. You're the one who started this whole conversation, I said. Before she could fire back, a clerk stepped in. Mr. Carter, your wife sent me over. She's asking if you got everything. Chloe went still. Her eyes went wide. What did you just call him? Mr. Carter. Chloe stared at the clerk. Mr. Carter? The clerk smiled, completely unaware of the bomb she'd just dropped. Yes. Your wife asked me to make sure you got the right formula. She said your daughter has been having trouble with the other brand. Chloe's face changed so fast it was almost funny. Wife. The clerk nodded. Mrs. Carter. Audrey Carter. Derek looked at me, then at Chloe, then back at me. You married? I shrugged. Obviously. Chloe laughed once, but it sounded wrong. No. He's lying. The clerk frowned. I don't think he is. Chloe stepped closer to me. You told me you would never marry anyone else. I said that 6 years ago. You promised, and you dumped me. Her mouth opened. Nothing came out. I bent down and picked up the formula she'd stomped on. The packaging was torn. I sighed. Actually, you're paying for this too. Chloe's face twisted. You're unbelievable. Add it to the phone. The clerk tried very hard not to smile. Derek suddenly grabbed Chloe's wrist. Enough. We're leaving. She yanked herself free. No. She stared at me. Show me. Show you what? Your wife. I laughed. You don't get to demand that. I want to see her. Why? Because I don't believe you. That sounds like a personal problem. Chloe's eyes filled with fury. You think you're better than me now because you found some woman willing to marry you? I looked at the wedding band on my finger. No. I think I'm lucky because I found a woman who actually loves me. That hit harder than I expected. Chloe went completely still. Derek's expression darkened. You're trying to make her jealous. I don't have to. My phone was broken, so I borrowed the clerk's phone and called Audrey. She answered on the second ring. Ethan, did you get the diapers? Almost. What happened? I glanced at Chloe. She stomped the formula. There was a pause. Then Audrey said she did what? Chloe's eyes widened. She knew that voice. Not personally, but she'd heard enough about Audrey from the people at Summit to know exactly who she was. I put the call on speaker. Audrey, this is Chloe. Silence. Then Audrey laughed. Oh, just one word. But Chloe's face drained. You know me? Of course. My husband mentioned you. Chloe immediately straightened. Your husband. Audrey laughed again. Yes. Ethan. Derek stepped closer. You're Audrey Carter? Yes. His expression changed. I watched it happen. Recognition. Fear. Then panic. Audrey continued. Why are you with my husband? Chloe's voice cracked. We just ran into each other. Interesting. Because the mall security just called me. Derek froze. Audrey continued. They said the general manager's fiancé assaulted my husband, destroyed his phone, damaged merchandise, and caused a disturbance. Derek's face went white. Security called you? Of course. She paused. And Derek, you're the general manager, right? He swallowed. Yes. Good. Her voice became cheerful. Then you can explain to me why your fiancé is attacking customers in a mall owned by my company. Chloe's eyes shot toward Derek. Your company? I smiled. Derek stared at me. You said, I didn't say anything. Audrey continued. Ethan, bring the broken phone home. I'll have legal replace it. Chloe suddenly grabbed the phone from my hand. Wait. Audrey's voice sharpened. Give my husband his phone back. Chloe dropped it. Audrey said, and Chloe? Chloe looked like she was about to faint. If you touch my husband again, you'll be dealing with me. The call ended. Nobody spoke. Then the clerk quietly asked, Sir, should I call security? I nodded. Yes. Derek exploded. You can't do this. I looked at him. Do what? Fire me. I haven't said anything about firing you. His face froze. I walked closer. But since you mentioned it, I pulled out my wallet. Inside was my Summit Enterprises executive card. I handed it to the clerk. Get the regional director. The clerk looked at the card. Her eyes widened. Mr. Carter, she whispered. Derek stepped backward. No. I looked directly at him. Mr. Vance, you told me this mall belongs to Summit Enterprises. He swallowed. It does. Good. I smiled. Because Summit Enterprises belongs to my wife. Chloe's face went blank. And I run it. The clerk nearly dropped the card. Derek stared at me as if I'd just grown another head. You're lying. I don't need you to believe me. My phone buzzed again. This time, it was a message from the regional director. Mr. Carter, security is already escorting the board members upstairs. We received the footage. Do you want Mr. Vance suspended immediately? I showed Derek the screen. His knees nearly buckled. Chloe grabbed his arm. Derek. He shoved her away. This is your fault. She stumbled. You said you knew him. I said I knew he was broke. And you believe that. You were the one who told me. They started arguing right there in front of everyone. The associates who had been praising Derek 5 minutes earlier suddenly found fascinating things to stare at on the floor. I didn't stay to watch. I picked up the diapers. The clerk hurried after me. Sir, your wife's account has already covered everything. I nodded. Thanks. As I walked away, Chloe screamed behind me. Ethan. I kept walking. Ethan, wait. I turned once. She was crying now. 6 years ago, that sight would have destroyed me. Today, it barely registered. You can't just leave. I can. You said you'd love me forever. I did. She stared at me. Then how can you look at me like this? I glanced at Audrey's wedding ring on my hand. I don't. Her face crumpled. I love my wife. Chloe covered her mouth. Derek was already being surrounded by security. And for the first time since our second life began, Chloe understood something neither of us had seen coming. She hadn't chosen Derek over me. She had chosen him over the life she could have had. And now she had to live with it. Chloe chased after me all the way to the elevator. Ethan, I pressed the button. She grabbed my sleeve. Please, just listen to me. I pulled free. Listen to what? That you didn't know I owned Summit? That you didn't know Audrey was my wife? That you didn't know Derek was stealing my work? Her face went white. What? I smiled. Ask your fiancé. The elevator doors opened. Derek came charging toward us. Ethan, wait. Security grabbed him before he could reach me. Let me go. I'm the general manager. One of the guards checked his phone. Not anymore. Derek's face collapsed. What? The board terminated you 5 minutes ago. Chloe stared at him. You're fired. Derek spun toward her. This is because of you. Me? You brought him here. You were the one insulting him. You told me he was broke. Their argument turned vicious within seconds. Chloe slapped Derek. Derek slapped her back. The entire mall erupted. Someone screamed. Someone started recording. Security dragged them apart as Chloe shrieked that Derek had used her for years, and Derek screamed that Chloe had destroyed his career. I stepped into the elevator. The doors closed on their chaos. My wife was waiting downstairs. Audrey stood beside our car with our daughter in her arms. The second she saw me, she smiled. There you are. I handed her the diapers. Sorry. Took longer than expected. She looked at the broken phone in my hand. I'm guessing Chloe. Very good guess. Audrey laughed. Then she kissed me. Right there in the middle of the parking garage. I wrapped an arm around her waist. Behind us, Chloe stumbled through the mall entrance. She stopped when she saw us. She watched Audrey kiss me. Watched my daughter reach for me. Watched me laugh when Audrey whispered something in my ear. Her entire face twisted with regret. Ethan, I didn't hear her. I was too busy laughing with my wife. 6 months later, Derek was bankrupt. His position was gone, his reputation was destroyed, and the company he'd bragged about running wouldn't even let him through the front doors. Chloe's engagement was over. Her parents had cut her off after discovering she'd been secretly helping Derek steal Ethan's old proposals. Then the investigation uncovered everything. Every proposal, every file, every promotion Derek had received from Ethan's work. Chloe had saved copies. Derek had used them. And this time, she couldn't call it coincidence. She lost her job, her apartment, her friends, and eventually, even Derek. He blamed her for everything. She blamed him. They spent months tearing each other apart in court. I never went back. I didn't need revenge. Their lives were already doing the work for me. One evening, Audrey and I sat on our balcony while our daughter played between us. Audrey leaned against my shoulder. You ever think about what would have happened if you hadn't been reborn? I looked at my wife, then at my daughter, every once in a while, and I kissed her forehead. I think I got lucky twice. She smiled. Once when Chloe left. Audrey laughed. And the second time, when you said yes. She kissed me again. Inside the apartment, our daughter squealed. I got up to chase her. Audrey followed, laughing. And somewhere across town, Chloe was probably still wondering how the man she once threw away had become the one man she could never get back. I never wondered about her. I had a wife, a daughter, a company, and a life that was actually mine. Chloe had spent her first life destroying herself for Derek. In our second life, she spent 6 years helping him destroy himself. I didn't have to lift a finger. That was the best part. The scandal exploded overnight. The mall footage went viral. Chloe's assault, Derek throwing money at me, their threats, and, most embarrassingly, the moment I revealed I was the man who actually controlled Summit Enterprises. Derek was fired before sunrise. By the end of the week, investigators uncovered the stolen proposals. Every promotion he'd bragged about had been built on my work. Derek was sued. Chloe was exposed as his accomplice. Her parents disowned her. Their engagement was over. 3 months later, Derek was begging for a job. Nobody would hire him. Chloe came crawling to Summit next. I didn't even meet her. My assistant handed her a check for every cent she could legally prove she was owed and told her never to contact me again. That was the last time I heard her name. A year later, I was sitting at home with Audrey and our daughter when Audrey handed me a birthday cake. You've been staring at that cake for 5 minutes. I was thinking, dangerous. I laughed. Our daughter climbed onto my lap and smeared frosting across my face. Audrey burst out laughing. I looked at them both and realized I couldn't remember the last time I'd wondered whether Chloe was happy. I simply didn't care anymore. She had chosen her life. I had chosen mine. And this time, I chose happiness. Audrey leaned over and kissed my cheek. Come on, birthday boy. Make a wish. I looked at my wife, my daughter, and the home we'd built. I already got it.